Hello and welcome to another edition of Currently in Quincy. I'm Joe Catalano. On today's program, we will be checking in with Dr. Lisa DeRusso from Quincy College, learning all about their online learning programs. First, though, we check out the weather in the news for you. Currently in Quincy, brilliant sunshine out there, but it is brisk. It's only 42 degrees with a bit of a wind chill. Highs today only in the mid-40s, that wind making it feel a lot colder. This is actually the average temperature for this time of year. Down to about 30 this evening and kind of unsettled over the weekend. Tomorrow, lots of clouds, maybe a stray flurry or a rain shower. Highs only in the upper 30s. A better chance for some snow showers here Sunday night and into early Monday morning. Temperatures again only in the mid-30s. Sunshine will return later in the day on Monday, but not the warm temperatures. Highs staying in the mid-30s. And actually, most of next week looks pretty chilly, but mostly dry. Again, sunny, 42 in Quincy right now. In the news today, the average residential property tax bill in Quincy will be going up by about $195. City Council this week set the new property tax rates, which are actually lower than the last fiscal year's rates, but because of an 11% rise in property values, the tax bills will go up. The City Council agreed to use almost $20 million from the city's stabilization fund, health insurance fund, and pension bond fund to help offset the higher tax increases. The council's president, Noel DeBona, said it was the right thing to do now, given the inflationary economy.
If these funds can be replenished over the next year or two, then you're in good shape. If these funds cannot be replenished from other sources of revenue, then we can have problems. And that's a question that we're going to have to see for the future. Is it the right move in this particular year? I think so. And I'll tell you why. Just going through the COVID-19 pandemic, a lot of folks were struggling, and to put a $700 price tag out there for all the folks in the city this particular year might be tough. There's a huge inflationary rate. Things are going to start leveling off with housing market. We might be going into a different sphere of things. Now, I don't want to get into ARPA funds, and I don't want to get into American Rescue funds and all these other things, but you can actually move some of that funding from those funds into stabilization if you need to in the future. Something to consider the administration. They'll have to make that call and bring it to the city council.
Now, without those funds from stabilization and the other sources, officials say the average residential tax bill would have gone up by $700. The average single-family home in Quincy is now valued at just over $600,000. The average annual residential tax bill is $6,700. City of Quincy will be honoring the Native American people who once called this area their home. Mayor Thomas Koch has entered into an agreement with the Neponset Band of the Massachusetts tribe to provide them with a meeting space, a statue, and some updated curriculum in the Quincy Public Schools. The mayor says it's the right thing to do.
Before the colonial settlement here, they walked this area, they farmed it, they fished it. It was a very important place for them. So we reconnected with them in the whole celebration of Quincy 400. We reconnected, and I signed a letter of intent to work with them to reclaim their history, to give them a permanent location that they can meet and celebrate that history, and a number of other items. We're going to do some things in our school curriculum to let people know. Some kids you hear about some of the big tribes across the country, but those that walk the lands that we walk today are still with us, and we should really be talking about that history. So it's a good relationship and partnership we're building. I look forward to continue to work with them.
City will provide the tribe with the Molly Hirschberg Learning Center building in Squantum for a community space, a statue of women known as the Three Sisters, who Native Americans say provided the tribe with corn, beans, and squash, and will educate Quincy Public School students about the Native American tribes who lived in Quincy. Tribal leaders praise the city for its efforts. Veterans and others gathered at the World War II Memorial at Mount Wollaston Cemetery in Quincy on Wednesday to commemorate the 81st anniversary of the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor. The guest speaker, retired Air Force Captain Guy Ferris, spoke about his father's experience during the war and the people that his father served with.
These men were together and not together. They would shoot skeet together, they would play golf together, but then they had different jobs during the war, as I just explained. But the thing about them was, the mayor said he came from the Depression. Well, my dad didn't just come from the Depression, he was orphaned at 17. My grandparents were killed in a terrible car accident. He went to 2 years of community college. He ended up an executive vice president of a Fortune 100 company. His little brother George, after the attack, went down to the recruiting station. The guy looked at his paperwork. He said, "George, you're a foreman at the River Road Steel plant for Ford Motor Company. The Army doesn't need you. Your country needs your steel. You're not going anywhere." He was disappointed, but he ended up being an executive vice president of that company. So all I can tell you is that when I see these remembrances, it's very real to me. I mean, these people were there. They lived it, and they put all they had into it, and they're part of how we defeated that axis of evil. And I'm very proud to have known them. And thank you for coming, and thank you for listening.
Quincy Veteran Services Director Christine Cugini thanked the Quincy Veterans Council, the American Legions, and the North Quincy Junior ROTC program for participating in that ceremony. The New England Aquarium's Sea Turtle Hospital at the Quincy Shipyard has treated almost 200 turtles that became stranded on Cape Cod beaches so far this season. The aquarium says 133 of the turtles were the critically endangered Kemp's Ridley turtles and 37 green turtles. The aquarium says the turtles began stranding themselves on November 18th. They become cold stunned after getting caught in Cape Cod Bay as the ocean waters cool. They require treatment for hypothermia, pneumonia, dehydration, and malnutrition. After being stabilized, the turtles are transported by a nonprofit organization to warmer southern waters. The number of sea turtle strandings has increased from about 50 back in the year 2000 to more than 700 last year. It's our check of news. Coming up, we sit down with Lisa DeRusso from Quincy College and learn about the online learning programs there. That's next. Welcome back. Just about every aspect of our lives pretty much is done online these days, and that is no different for going to school and online learning. Folks at Quincy College really were kind of ahead of the curve before the pandemic with online learning, but Lisa DeRusso really had to step up and kick it into high gear once the pandemic hit, so she's here to tell us a bit more about herself and about that program. Great to see you in person.
Yes. I'm very happy to be here.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Oh, pleasure. Last time we talked, it was virtually, right at the beginning of 2020, I think.
It was a head spin.
Exactly.
It was a head spin. We were closed down for 2 weeks, and I worked with faculty and staff nonstop for 2 weeks at all hours of the night, just to get everybody up and running at the end of the 2 weeks.
And it happened.
It did happen. It did happen, and we've seen much growth since then.
Now, at that time, was there a separate, just online curriculum at Quincy College, or did that develop because of the pandemic?
You know, I really don't have a history of before that because I was hired January 13th of 2020.
Oh, all right. So you stepped right into it.
And 2 months later, you know, you and I were talking virtually. So,
yes. Wow.
But I can tell you that there were courses online. There were parts of associate's degrees or programs that were all completely online.
Okay.
I can't really speak to whether or not that was just exclusive to online or if it was connected to the on-campus.
So what's the current situation?
Currently, currently it's an entirely different world. Currently, our faculty create all of our online courses together, either with my team at the Innovation Hub or by themselves or as a group, as a faculty group. And those courses that are offered online are also offered on campus.
Okay.
So it's all about accessibility. So a student that comes to Quincy College can be sure to receive the same quality that they would receive on campus in the online platform.
Okay.
Yeah, and all of our on-campus classes have an online presence, so that students, when they go to the college, whether it's in Plymouth or here in Quincy, they can come into the building, sit down with their class, interact with their professor, and then they can go home at night, go into the online version, and then watch more videos, read more articles, submit their assignments.
With that
Anytime.
same professor, that
Yes.
same faculty member?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is that extra burden for the faculty member to kind of teach the course twice? No.
No.
Okay.
No, because if you would imagine you have your students coming to class, 20 students sitting there in the classroom, your online course has already been built. So they've already pre-built it. So what the faculty easily does is they just go in and they make adjustments in the Canvas LMS, Learning Management System, based on, let's say, today's conversation in class. They can go in, add a little more discussion, add more content, and it's seamless. Our faculty have to go through a certain level of online training.
Oh.
And the hub, my Learning Innovation Hub team, we're always available to help faculty at any time. My phone is always on. Weekends, nights, holidays.
Except for right now.
Except for right
Yeah.
now, I did turn it off. But I'm there, and my
Okay.
team, we're always there to help, because learning has to continue no matter what.
What is your background, doctor, in this field?
I've been teaching for 35 years.
Okay.
So I actually come from K-12. K-12 elementary school teacher, middle school teacher.
Public schools.
Yeah.
Okay.
Public in New Hampshire.
Okay.
And then I went into administration in K-12 administration at the building level, principal, and then as a curriculum coordinator, which is sort of like an assistant superintendent
Okay.
for curriculum at the district level.
Yep.
And then I retired. I became a professional consultant with a Boston-based organization. Did that for about a year or so, and then went right into higher ed. Started at Southern New Hampshire University, learned a lot about outcomes and assessment. And I was the person back in the early 2000s when I was teaching on campus at Southern New Hampshire University. I was the person who said online learning would never work.
Really?
That was me. I
Wha-
said it, and I have to say it out loud because it was me.
All right.
And I still say it. I say this today, that online learning can be very, very bad, and it can be very, very good
If it's not done right.
if it's not done right.
Okay.
And I definitely know the difference.
Okay.
My time at Southern New Hampshire University, working there on campus with young novice educators, and then working at the College of Online and Continuing Ed, and then Florida Atlantic University's College of Online and Continuing Ed, gave me years of experience. And so when I was fortunate to be hired, and become part of the Quincy College community, I was ready. I was absolutely ready.
Did you take, Southern New Hampshire University is famous for promoting their online learning. Were you part of that?
Yeah.
You were?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was that what opened your eyes to the
Yes.
possibilities?
Yes.
Really?
It was a game changer. The quality of the student experience matters. All students, regardless of how they define their learning style, should be able to easily access online education and learn from that online experience. So we have a combination of instructor-made videos, we have other videos, content-based videos, so that there's multiple, we call it multiple modes of engagement. So the
Okay.
students can engage in the content through the video, through reading, through simulations, gamification, and then of course there are online discussions, there are online exams that they take, but we differentiate so that students, if a student has trouble reading as opposed to speaking, it's not necessarily that they have to create this essay in writing.
Okay.
If the idea of the assignment is to communicate what you know and can do, if you can show that through an infographic, let's say,
Okay.
or through a video as opposed to just writing, why not?
So it really is an individualized, almost like an IEP, right? An individualized educational
Personalized,
plan.
yeah.
For
Yeah.
each student.
There's a term I like to use when I'm working with faculty, when I'm working with my team, it's humanizing, right? And so it's that human approach to online course design, right? We're creating courses for people, right? And people need to be connected. And so the big fear, right, that I try to just break is that if you take an online class, you're all by yourself, you're
Yeah.
alone. That is not the case at Quincy College.
Probably what you felt when you first made that statement a long time ago, right?
Yeah, because, John Dewey, way
Right.
back when, said learning is social, early
Yeah.
1900s. Well, learning is social. And it is, learning is social.
Sure.
And you can be social, right, online, social media, right?
Well, yeah.
Right? Social media, right? So we bring that into the online classroom. And then our, excuse me, our online classes moving forward, we have different modes. One of them is more of a traditional, asynchronous, fully online modality. Those courses, moving forward, starting in January in our spring semester, will have synchronous sessions built in.
Oh,
And all courses, all of those asynchronous courses, so that a student who takes a fully online course in any content area knows that at least 3 times a semester there will be opportunity to connect virtually with the faculty member and with the peers. Now, if they can't make it, it's not a problem because they signed up for a fully asynchronous class, so we wouldn't do that to them. But we will provide the recording for them
okay.
so they can watch it. Listen, people, young families working 2 jobs.
Yes.
A lot of not only our students but students in general don't even turn on their computer till 11 at night.
Sure. Yeah.
And it needs to be simple and clear and really student centered, so they can just get their work done. They can engage in the content and connect with their faculty member and their peers.
What, as an online student, what should a student be aware of to become a good student online as opposed to, traditional in-class students? What are some of the skills that they need?
Well, to really be successful, there should be a certain level of comfort with technology.
Sure.
And I would say that, I'm probably generalizing here, but most people, at this point know how to turn on a computer. However, I will also say that I wouldn't stop a person from taking an online class if they're fearful of technology.
All right.
And I say that because at Quincy College, we have student support, different kinds of student support. We can help students on campus if they live close enough to come to campus. But we help students virtually all the time. I'm on the phone with students helping. We have what's called Kickoff to College. It's a whole site that we built for students. We get them in the learning management system. They can go through the Kickoff to College site. They learn all about the college, everything that they need to know about being a successful college student. They can go at it at their leisure. They can watch whatever videos they want. But that resource is very valuable. We also have a student success guide that gives tips, suggestions. We have the student learning series that we provide. It's professional development for students. How to work in Zoom, how to create PowerPoints, how to work, Microsoft Word. So we recognize that people coming into the college, they're coming in with, various backgrounds, and we're fully accessible to everybody. You want to learn, you want to have a different career move, you're interested in business or computer science or psychology, come on in and we'll get you set up.
Yeah, and to that point, you were telling me before the program that you have some non-traditional older students that are learning online.
Yeah. I was it was just this morning, I went to the Kickoff to College site, and one of the, in the first module, there's hey, why did you choose Quincy College? Tell us about yourself and what brought you to us. And there was a person who said that they were in their 60s, I think it was 65.
Okay.
They have, they're changing their career up a little bit, they're retiring, they want to do some more work in the field, in business, and they decided to come to Quincy College to take some business courses.
Wow.
Right?
Totally online.
Totally online.
Yeah.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yes.
I think that's great.
Yeah.
Everybody should have the opportunity to have a high quality experience, whether it's online or on campus. I fully believe that.
Yeah.
And if people who are living in the rural area, if you can't drive, you don't want to take the train or whatever,
there's a blizzard blazing outside.
yeah. Oh, yeah,
Something
yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is definitely it's the new normal, I think, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do employers take that into consideration when they're looking at prospective candidates for jobs? Did they get the degree online versus did they get it in the classroom?
Yeah. Well, that used to be
Yeah.
a concern way back when. And
Okay.
again, let's go back to the early 2000s, right,
Okay.
when I was the one who said it would never work. You saw the rise of Phoenix, University of Phoenix, Capella, right? And at that point, what I'm getting to is when I was working at Southern New Hampshire University, part of the conversation we would have as a team at College of Online and Continuing Ed was the value added, right? So yes, there was a concern, but here's what I'll tell everybody. When you get a degree from Southern New Hampshire University, Quincy College, right, preferably Quincy College, that degree is from the college. It's not, oh, you got the degree online.
Yes.
You got the degree from the college.
Okay.
And our courses, everybody needs to know this, our courses are built by our faculty, right? And our programs and our curriculum that we've aligned and that we nonstop look at and revisit. And that's important for people to know because that is not what happens everywhere.
Right. Yeah.
Right. There are organizations that build courses for colleges to buy.
Yes. Yeah.
We don't do that. I
Yeah.
don't believe in that.
Well, that is important to know because
Yeah.
all of those, the faculty, the programs, the institution has all been accredited
Yes, that's
by the peers, right? By the state.
Yep.
So it has all been certified, and it is all meeting the standards that those organizations have set for learning.
Yeah, and the fact that we offer baccalaureate programs
2 now, and maybe a 3rd next year. Yeah. Yeah.
and more. I mean, it's
There's business, computer science, and possibly another one we won't talk about
we
right
won't
now.
talk
Yeah.
about that, but the business courses, and again, the faculty are building those courses with us.
Yep.
And it's a conversation between a subject matter expert, the faculty member who has a specific expertise in an area of business, and then an instructional designer who has a specific expertise in designing curriculum. And that collaboration creates robust, relevant, engaging online learning experiences. And on campus. It's the same.
Yeah. Can you earn a bachelor's degree from Quincy College totally 100% online?
Yep.
You can?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a tremendous.
Isn't it exciting?
It's a tremendous explosion of growth at the school in a very short period of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we've worked very hard, and we'll continue to work hard.
As a matter of fact,
Yeah.
one of your online programs has been recognized by your peers, right?
Yeah.
The program for children with special needs.
Yeah. Yeah. So we are it's not the program itself, it's a course, but
Okay.
we have more coming, and I'll explain. So we are a Quality Matters school. Quality Matters is an international organization. It's a nonprofit that focuses on high quality online course design. It's a rigorous program. There's a rubric. There's a peer review of experts from around the country that work with Quality Matters. And so because we're a Quality Matters school, our faculty is trained in Quality Matters. And it's, again, it's teaching the faculty the necessary components of a high quality, not just quality,
Yeah.
high quality course.
Different standards,
right?
yeah.
Yes. So we submitted, it was EDU 222, Children with Special Needs. We submitted that course, which was created by Professor Becky Del Vecchio and then sort of redesigned with our team. We sent that to Quality Matters. Now, the rubric that they use is it's intense. It's an intense rubric. It's not an easy process to go through, but it's important, right, and necessary for us to do this. You can earn up to 100 points. We scored 94.
Wow.
First time.
Wow.
Yeah, and Quality Matters, they were impressed. I have to say I wasn't totally
A proud
surprised,
parent.
but I was like, yeah, this. And so students, everyone should know that In the state of Massachusetts, we are the only college that's a quality matters college that has had a course approved. And
That's quite a statement.
It is, and
Yeah.
we have more coming.
Okay.
We have more coming. Yeah, our faculty want the honor of knowing that their course has been scrutinized, and I want our students to know that when you have a course that's been deemed high quality by Quality Matters, that means something. And we're dedicated. We're as a college, we're dedicated, and it's not only those courses that are high quality. We seek to have all of them to be high quality.
Speaking of online, folks should go to the website, right?
That's right.
QuincyCollege.edu and learn all about it and more.
Yes.
Will you come back and give us an update?
Anytime.
Great.
Anytime.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Great to talk
My
to you.
pleasure. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Just enough time to check the weather for you for the rest of the day today. What you see is what you get out there. It's a bright and brisk afternoon with temperatures in the mid-40s and feeling colder with that wind, down to 30 degrees tonight. That sets us up for a wintry type weekend. Cloudy tomorrow, maybe a stray flurry. Better chance for some snow Sunday night. Won't accumulate to anything, but it will set us up for a cold Monday with partly sunny skies and highs in the mid-30s. Thanks again to Dr. Lisa DeRusso for joining us here from Quincy College. Thanks to our crew. Thank you for watching. Monday here in the program, Paula Fleming from the Better Business Bureau joins us with some holiday shopping advice. Go to our website anytime. It's qatv.org. You'll find our latest programs there. There's news and information, video on demand, live streaming, and much more. For all of us here at QATV, I'm Joe Catalano. Have a great weekend.